guys, how's it going today? So like I said a couple of videos ago in my Hendrix one, provided that it was able to be released due to Hendrix having a lot of copyright restrictions typically. I mentioned during that recording at least that I've kind of self-identified that I do tend to visit a lot of the same bands over and over again. They've got a lot of great songs, the Metallicas and the Maidens and the Kisses of the world and that kind of thing. Definitely have a lot of enjoyable songs. But I do want to try to make sure that I'm offering a little bit more of a variety. So either visiting bands that I haven't touched on or I've only done maybe once or twice. Because there's a lot of other really big bands out there that probably have potential for multiple releases as well. But I haven't really touched on them yet. So Hendrix was definitely a major one. Another big band with a lot of really catchy, really fun drums is Chicago. So Chicago, of course, and probably by the 80s, were known more for their ballad type hits, and so you wouldn't necessarily think of them as a drum band, but a lot of their 70s stuff rocks really hard. The drums are extremely difficult on a lot of their songs, and definitely very fun to play along to. And so I wanted to play a song today that's quite well known of theirs called Saturday in the Park. And again, it's one of those songs that it's got a really catchy rhythm to it. The drums are kind of deceptively difficult, and it's an overall just enjoyable song to listen to. So I'm sure it's going to be great fun to play as well. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. So without any further delay, this is Chicago with Saturday in the Park. Yeah, ton of variety in that one. So like I said, Chicago is one of those bands where you don't really necessarily think of them as a band with tough drums or anything. And if you're just familiar with 80s Chicago, that's probably a fair assessment. But definitely some of the stuff they put out in the late 60s and the 70s rock's pretty good. So this song in particular is definitely one of their kind of poppier hits of the era. But as you can tell throughout that song, there was a ton of rhythm changes. Nothing that was extremely difficult, but definitely some really unique rhythms and rhythm changes in general. And it kept it really fun throughout because honestly, even hearing the song a number of times without actually having the notes in front of you like I do right here, it's not always easy to necessarily to really hear some of those nuances on the drums. And so when you're playing it with the notes in front of you like that, it really makes you realize pretty quickly how many changes there are, how many different rhythms there are, even rhythms that sound the same are played slightly differently, and so a lot of variety. And so very fun song to play, very enjoyable on my end of things, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. It's another one of those songs that Saturday in the Park would definitely ring a bell just in the title for a lot of people, but even if you don't recognize it by title, when you actually hear it, it's one of those songs that for a lot of people would ring a bell and they'd recognize it, especially once the chorus hits. So it's one of those songs for sure, and Chicago in general is a band like that as well, even for me, where I wouldn't say I'm a super huge Chicago fan, but I definitely appreciate their music and like quite a few of their songs. Even for me, going through a lot of their like their biggest hits, greatest hits type albums, there was probably twice as many songs on there that I did know than I actually thought I knew going into it. So just one of those bands that really has a lot of hits in the pocket, I guess you could say. And this is definitely a big one of theirs and a really fun one. So if you guys enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, subscribe as always. I definitely appreciate any support, any feedback, as well as any requests. So if you have them, throw them at me and I'll see what I can do with them. And other than that, as always, I hope you guys are doing great, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.